All right, welcome to another edition of Sign or Decline. Landry Locker of the Locker Room with Cody Stoots of Cody Stoots channel and Houston Football. This is one that I've been waiting for a while. Should the Texans sign Saquon Barkley? We'll make the case for, as we always do. We'll make the case against. We'll give you some facts, and then we'll give you a verdict. We'll be doing this throughout free agency, which is fastly approaching. And I think regardless of what your answer is going to be here with Saquon Barkley, I think even the majority of the fan base and the majority of the media types that don't value the running back perhaps as much as I do, they at least got to admit that if it's not Saquon Barkley, the Texans got to be in this running back market in some way, shape, or form, probably even on top of bringing back Devin Singletary.
Yeah, that's something that the Texans have to invest in. They have one running back on their roster, on their active roster right now. Some practice squad guys they've signed to future contracts, but it's Dameon Pierce. And Dameon Pierce, I mean, you can't bet on a bounce back and have Dameon Pierce be a big-time factor in your rushing attack. What you get out of Dameon Pierce in 2024 is going to be a bonus. It can't be a plan. It's built around Dameon Pierce because he showed that he just couldn't get it going this past season with this offense. And I don't know that it's going to just all of a sudden click by training camp before next season. And then bringing back just Devin Singletary is not enough. Look, yeah, if Singletary started all year long, maybe he'd have a little bit more impressive stats, but there's no reason to rest on your laurels, and you have been the champion for this. You've got to have more than one running back that you trust, or you've got to have just an incredible guy that never comes off the field. Well, there's only a handful of those, and they're not available to go get unless you're getting premium Saquon Barkley, because he's the closest thing to Christian McCaffrey that the NFL has. He's a guy that doesn't have to come off the field. He can play all three downs. He can do it all. And when healthy, he can do Christian McCaffrey type things. He's not as good as Christian McCaffrey, but he can do those type of things.
Yeah, and I think Bijan, obviously Bijan, we haven't seen it yet. He's going to have his chance to do it. But my thing is this, like, you have to have multiple backs. I mean, even in the Super Bowl with Christian McCaffrey, you had Elijah Mitchell come in and spell him a little bit. The Texans, I think Dameon Pierce played one snap in the entire playoffs on offense or something like that. That's just not really going to get it done. The Saquon Barkley questions, I know there's questions of durability, although the significant time he had the one season-ending injury. Statistically, if you're just looking at stats, his stats aren't going to look good. Less than 4 yards per carry last year. Plays in a really bad offense. Even Daniel Jones went down last year, wasn't good. Led him to the playoffs, though, the year before last. So, yeah, the stats aren't good. I wouldn't read too much into it. You mentioned Christian McCaffrey. I look at it the same way. Similar-ish questions, never really been in a situation where you can compete. We think the Texans are in position to compete, perhaps a breath of fresh air, guys around him. This would probably be the best squad that he's had around him on that side of the rock with what the Texans got on offense. So it just seems like even at the price that's been reported by the New York Post, that was the Giants' max offer, 3 years, $23 million. It just seems like even if it goes bad, okay, like that's nothing. That's 3 years, $23 million. Even if it's more than that, even if it's closer, like somewhere in between the Jonathan Taylor and you have to outbid someone, I just think it's a risk worth taking with CJ on his rookie deal and with all the other guys you have on their rookie deal.
I mean, 2023 wasn't the best season by any means. We're 1 year removed from him playing the best football of his career. Like, 2022 was the best season he had. It was better than his rookie season. He was more successful. He was more effective per carry. He had more yards. I mean, he was better in 2022 than his incredible rookie season. And we're 1 year removed from it. And two, I feel like Saquon Barkley had a lot of reasons to make business decisions last year, had a lot of reasons to not give 100% effort because the Giants weren't going anywhere and didn't invest in him long term. If you go to the negotiating table, you take care of this guy, you pay him well, and he's got motivation to have that pay off for you, I feel like this could be a really nice signing for somebody, and it's a guy the Texans should certainly at least check out.
Who knows if he gets on the market? I think we're 3 days now. It's Saturday right now. Tomorrow, Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday's when the franchise tag gap begins, and then you got 2 weeks after that. So, maybe the Giants franchise tag him again. I find that hard to believe, especially given if the report is true that 3 years, 23 was their max. Paying him 1 year, 12 just seems a little bit interesting, especially with where they are. I don't want to say they want to take steps back, but they might want to prepare for life after Saquon. Let's lay out the case for Saquon Barkley. I think we pretty much already have a guy with unrealized potential, a team in need of running backs that can just not run the ball but catch the ball, a guy that could perhaps make like a Christian McCaffrey-like impact. And, oh, by the way, D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick were both in San Francisco when Christian McCaffrey came in, and the only game they lost that he started in was that NFC title game. So the case for him, I think we've already laid it out. I think let's just focus on the case against, so to avoid repetitiveness. I think the case against here is really if you like another running back more. Like, and there's no right answer there. We're not going to tell you what to think, but if you like, it's a pretty relatively big running back market, specifically in free agency. If you like another running back more, then I think that's the case against Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, if you like, say, Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry or something like that a little bit more, I certainly would understand that. And there's going to be conversations about durability, and there's going to be conversations about, well, how many games did he play, and can you trust him? Look, I understand that the leg exploded in 2020 and he only played in 2 games, but 13, 16, and 14 after that, that's 43 games the past 3 seasons. That's more games played over the past 3 years than Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb. It's the same amount of games as David Montgomery. It's more games than James Conner. It's the same amount of games as Aaron Jones, as Alvin Kamara. Like, the durability is not that big of a question when you start thinking about Saquon Barkley. He's a unique running back from an athleticism standpoint. So to put him in there, yeah, that's the durability. I understand if that's an issue for you, but it's not really that big. The thing about Saquon is the investment in him, it probably keeps you from having a good backup. So if he does get hurt, if that does pop up, if he does miss, say, a month, your backup's not going to be as good as Devin Singletary was for Dameon Pierce. You had the ability to sort of maneuver and shift things around. An investment in Barkley keeps you from having a really solid number 2. And honestly, Landry, it probably means that Saquon Barkley is the 1 and Dameon Pierce is the 2, and then figure out that third running back on the roster. So, and I don't want to turn this thing over to Dameon Pierce. So I'd understand if people are worried that, hey, if he's got to miss a handful of games, that the backup running back situation isn't going to be as good as, investing in a mid-level guy and bringing back Singletary. So I'll listen to that argument as well.
See, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I could see the market speaking to Devin Singletary, and I could see the market speaking to other guys to where, you can bring him back on 1 year, $4 million, $5 million deals, because your 2 top receivers at the moment are going to be on rookie deals next year. So if you sign a backup short term, you're not paying wide receivers. And I also think in the draft, we've seen San Francisco back when D'Amico and Slow were there. They were still willing to draft running backs early on, for better or worse, when they had guys. They were still willing to take Trey Sermon in whatever round. They were willing to take Elijah Mitchell in the 6th round. I know D'Amico's talked about that story. So I don't necessarily agree with you that it prevents you from getting a good backup.
How much money do you think he's going to make? I know what the Giants offer was, but how much per year do you think he's going to make?
Well, I think if he gets on the market, I think there's going to be a slight bidding war between the Texans, the Chargers, and some other teams like that. So I don't think he's going to get Jonathan Taylor's deal. I think he's probably going to get more than their cap. I mean, I could see him getting 3 years, 30, something like that. Like I could easily see Saquon Barkley getting that. And for me, all risks aside, that's something I would be able to live with.
I do think that the money's going to scare some people off, but I would tell you that if you're shopping at the top of the running back market this year, it's not last year where the market was kind of depressed. If you're shopping at the top this year, there's some options that are worth investing in. And we say it all the time, nice things cost a good amount of money, and that's Saquon Barkley. So I understand if the price scares some people away. It doesn't really scare me away, but I can understand the price is scaring some people away.
All right, so let's get the verdict. Should the Texans sign Saquon Barkley? Sign or decline? I'm going to go sign. Sign Saquon Barkley. Again, if they like someone else, more power to them. But I'm a big Saquon Barkley fan. I like the upside. I like what Christian McCaffrey's done with the San Francisco 49ers. Sign me up for it.
I'm a sign as well. I feel like he would be an incredible addition to this offense, and it gives you a bunch of unique, physically gifted guys throughout this offense. When you think about what Tank Dell's been able to do, Nico Collins using his side speed combination, and then Barkley, one of the most athletic running backs in all of football. It gives you a really unique aspect to your offense. You would have a really good argument to put together, not only in the AFC South, but around the AFC, the best 1-2 wide receiver and running back combination. You'd have a really good argument for being near the tops and a lot of consideration.
All right, so that's today's sign or decline. Be sure to subscribe to the Locker Room, subscribe to Cody's channel. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Saquon Barkley, it's unanimous. Sign. Be on the lookout for more of these videos coming up as we count down to free agency, 3 days away from franchise tag. Might get some clarity on this Saquon situation as well as some other ones. Cody, appreciate you. Keep doing the Lord's work. Been a wild week. Stay away from the Amber Roses.
No Amber Roses here.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Anytime.